This is the P&A Podcast Express. We are coming to you live and recorded from the world famous Palm Street studio, located on the grounds of the 360 Broadcast Network.
What? On the grounds of the Lucky Beehole Productions.
Yes, a Lucky Beehole production. And how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm great.
It is a pretty great evening here. I think it's starting to cool off a little bit.
It's starting to cool off nicely here in August in Michigan. And yeah.
Can't complain about that. Gotta like it when it cools off.
He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. We've got my friend Brian the Bandit here in studio once again. Cookie departed. Cookie left. And I've got to clean up Cookie and Sharon's crock pot and get it back to him, although there's still food in it.
Yeah, it's good. You should eat some.
I will have some in a little bit.
Yeah. It might even be worthy for a lunch take along tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to take it along for my lunch because I don't have anything for my lunch tomorrow.
See?
So
I'm terrible about taking leftovers. I put them in the fridge the night before, and I put them in there, and I just forget about them in the morning.
So I agree. I used to be terrible about that, too. I used to go out for lunch every day when I worked in Sandusky prior at the shithole.
What the dog doing?
Emerson. And then I worked in Purgatory in Peck.
Yeah.
A great place to work, but just no place around. There's no place to go quickly and get good food. So I started taking leftovers or making my lunch or whatever, and I found that I thoroughly enjoy it. So now my new job, I'm back in Sandusky, but I just enjoy taking leftovers for lunch. I don't have to leave. I work through my lunch. The boss doesn't give me any grief because I'm there from 8 to 4:30, and a lot of times my half-hour lunch, whatever, I could just count it as fuck-off time the rest of the day because I'm really a lot of times working while I'm eating my lunch, and yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. And or sometimes I'd rather go sit in my car for a half hour than take lunch.
Right.
Yeah. When I used to work up in Bad Axe, I would often just go drive around for a while on my lunch.
Well, and there's times when I just need to get out of the office, too.
Yeah.
So I'll just go for a drive for 10, 15 minutes, usually no more than 15. I'll go do whatever. I'll go put gas in the truck, or I'll stop at the party store and oogle at the liquor selection for 5 minutes or something. And
Yeah.
I do that. I actually will walk into a party store, and if your friends are watching from Seattle, they don't know what fucking party stores are there. So
That's weird.
it's a concept that's foreign to them.
Yeah, I told my wife once, I'm like, I'm going to run down to the party store and get milk. And she's like, what party store carries milk? Like the convenience store. And she goes, that's a grocery store. I had to explain it to her all, and she didn't believe me, but she actually visited Saginaw. And I'm looking on the side of, what does it say on the side of that?
Party store.
Yep.
So yeah, and then go just oogle at the liquor, and there we go. And it's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
That is not a
Are we
bad thing.
Facebook Live?
We are.
That's for you, Facebook Live people.
There you go.
Hopefully there's not an echo. We have a Bisco sign. Thank you, D.
Yes, very much. This is going to be proudly displayed.
I'll hang it this week.
The accuracy on the fonts is what I appreciate.
You know, I have shown it, and I actually had it out. We were at a friend's house the other night, had some people over, had it out to show it off. They want one. They're building a garage, so I might have to have Stoliker make us a couple. Like, Stahls, hook it up. Give us the friends and family discount, for Christ's sake, but I want to have about 2 or 3 more made just for posterity's sake. You already got everything you need. You already figured out the font and everything else, right?
So I want to see something quick.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I couldn't tell if that was aluminum board or. Here, let me put this behind it. No, I was hoping we could backlight it.
We can't backlight that.
No. That's all right though.
Thank you, D. Still.
Oh.
Badass.
We will front light it.
We'll front light it just like we have to do when we film anything with our dongs.
Yes.
You front light the shit out of that, because backlighting just creates weird shadows.
Weird shadows and that's bad.
And a lot of hair. The backlighting's really weird.
Yeah.
You're like, huh? Is this a 70s porn?
What was the guy on the Muppets that was with Beaker?
Right.
The guy,
Yeah, it creates a shadow like that.
Yeah.
He gets a shadow like Beaker. Like, dude, he not only needs to shave his pubes, but man, he should shave his rod.
Oh boy.
Shaving your rod. Anyway, so any gear grinds? Anybody? I've got a big one, but I don't know if I want to break into it.
Go ahead. What else we got to do?
Lead it off.
So I don't know if a lot of people know, but I'll announce it now because it's going to be in the ether here very soon after Labor Day. I just said this to the lawyer the other day. My mom, of course, is going through a divorce right now, and her ex-husband's a fucking piece of work. Soon-to-be ex-husband. What a man this guy is. What a fucking man. What a fucking man. He came into this marriage with my mother 13 years ago with nothing. Not a pot to piss in. And he leaves it with, my mom had property. She has a farm. The farm that's been in our family for 100 years as of 2024.
Yeah.
Centennial farm this year. He lobbied that the 13 years they were married, he is entitled to half of everything that it appreciated. And the lawyers all agree by law.
That's how you get screwed without prenups and other things like that. That's
So this dickhead takes my mom, who he has been retired for a couple of years, pissed away his retirement already, spends money like water, charges things, and will fuck anybody over. He's fucked me over numerous times for money, just for a buck, which I don't do to family. I don't screw anybody over when it comes to money, I don't think.
Not to my knowledge, no.
And so he argued he was entitled to all of this. He is literally leaving the divorce with my mother. She gets to keep the farm, but saddled her with $37,000 worth of unsecured credit card debt because of this appreciation for the farm that he is entitled to, as well as she has to pay him $10,000 to get out of this.
How in the world, what world do we live in where that works?
Yeah, it used to be a lot more straightforward. It's like, what you had coming into it. But like I said, he argued that, whatever he was doing over the 13 years supposedly helped appreciate it.
But there's farmland there, so the farmland, I don't know if you know this, I know you do. Farmland has appreciated a ton
Yeah.
in the past, even 5 years.
Yeah, just any property.
Right. So anyway, so he's taking her, and then he has the gall to ask her, after we go through mediation, which I went to the mediation with her with, and the lawyers weren't even, I'm like, are you serious? Like, he's entitled to what this property gained and appreciated over that time for literally having to do nothing because most of it is due to the farmland. And they're like, yeah, they won't even think about arguing it for us. So we had to work on making a deal. And this is the best I could do. He was entitled to also a quarter of her pension because they were married for 13 years. She's been working there for 26 years. So half of half, a quarter of her pension. He could have taken that too, but finally my mom was adamant. Like, I kind of need that. My mom's 65. He's, I think, 69. Like, but we agreed that he's not going to take half of that. But still, saddled her with $37,000 worth of credit card debt, most of which he accrued, and then has to pay him. What kind of man is that? How would you sleep in? As a man, could you ever do that to somebody? As a man.
No.
You couldn't look someone in the face and go, yeah, I spent it, but you owe it. That's just not.
And this piece of shit still has the gall to give my mom a hard time just yesterday about some things. And I said, no, you don't do this anymore. This is not happening anymore. Not happening. What a fucking dick.
So did you guys settle it already?
Yeah, it's settled. Everything signed off the agreement. Oh, the big argument was he's got a lawnmower trailer that they bought, and it's in my mom's name, the plate and everything on it. My mom just wanted some things. He gets the camper, which is no big deal. There's still money owed on it. He can take the camper. I told my mom buying a camper, but it was his idea. 3 or 4 or 5 years, 4 years ago, brand new camper was a bad idea.
What the dog doing?
Always a terrible idea. Campers are fucking whatever. So my mom just wanted some things out of the camper that were, a lot of them, some of them are mine and some of them were bought for the kids, like things like board games, things like that, and some like camping stuff, silverware and stuff. He argued about this trailer, and it wasn't part of what he put into his demands. His demands were items that he wanted were the grills, the two grills, like a Weber, a Traeger, not a Traeger, even like a Blackstone, 2 picnic tables, like just a random group. Oh, Keurig coffee maker and like his recliner chair. He had a chance to itemize what he wanted. Never put this trailer in there. Agreement's been signed. I told my mom, trailer's yours, and he pitched a fit and said, if you don't give me the trailer, I'm not going to let you into the camper to get the things you want. And I said, it doesn't work that way.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
No, that's once you sign it.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And he also said, my mom offered him, and he's like, you can keep the trailer as long as I can borrow it anytime. And he said, well, you can borrow it, but if any of your family members want to use it, then no. He literally hates, which is why he took the picnic tables and the grills, because we use them when we're at my mom's all the time, which we'll buy more. Don't worry about any of that bullshit, because we've got the means. But he's so petty that he doesn't want her family to have anything.
Has he picked up the picnic tables yet?
No, but
Can we go carve a giant penis in both of them?
we can. We should. I'll brand it into him. I'll actually make a penis brand tomorrow at work.
We should just get like a dozen of us over there and outline them.
I was actually going to make a penis brand anyway. So I mean,
Well, you know.
Soak it in stump rod or something.
right, but just what a dick. So yeah, Wes Confer, you're a fucking dick and a piece of shit. And I'll stand by that forever. Because my mom is a fucking good woman that gave you everything, and you want to fuck her over and then tell her that I never wanted this divorce.
She gave us cookies.
Right.
So if I was on a jury, she wins.
My mom is one of the greatest human beings on the face of this. And I'm not just saying this because she's my mom. She
No.
helps everybody out. She does everything for everyone. My mom's a giver. She loves everybody. She loves you no matter what you do. She loves me, and I've fucked up a ton.
You wonder if she could argue that somehow that if she could prove she paid the taxes on that property all that time, and
Right.
I don't know who actually paid it, but
But it's all signed off now, and it's all, she just literally wants him out. And part of the agreement was, nowadays, get this. The lawyer said, well, once the divorce is finalized, literally, a lot of times we're giving people 90 days to vacate. Like, if the property's not yours, if the person who is awarded the property in the divorce, 90 days to vacate. I said, that will not do. He is not ruining another fucking set of holidays. So I said 30 days tops. He agreed to, once he's paid his $10,000, he'll be out within 14 days.
yeah.
Can you predate a check to 13 days ago?
So it cannot be until the judge signs the orders, until Timmy Rathel signs the orders, which will be on the 3rd of September. That's when it's scheduled for. So, but my mom got literally taken to the cleaners. Like, I'm not going to fucking lie.
Yeah.
By this dude that did nothing. Came in here without a fucking pot to piss in, with nothing. Is a piece of shit. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to say this lightly. I've never admitted this before, but he fucking hit my mom too. So
That should automatically disqualify for him.
she
being
didn't
able
press
to make
charges. There's a
claim.
report she didn't press charges.
Even without
Doesn't mean
pressing
you can't
charges.
whoop his ass.
Might be in the cards very soon. So yeah, this motherfucker and has the audacity to do all this. I'm very pissed. I've been sending angry
I don't blame
texts.
you.
I've been sending angry texts to my sister. And I'm like, I literally have to refrain from going out there because I will beat his sorry ass.
Well, somebody should. I mean,
I said I will. I'm not going to. I said I will. If he looks at me cross-eyed, if he even says anything to me.
well, aren't there people that are supposed to be doing your bidding?
Get on it, world.
Exactly.
Or get a restraining order and keep him off the property.
So there's already one of those coming about, like, because he always wants to keep an eye on him. So for the last half a dozen years, you know my dad. I love my dad. I love my dad more than anything. But was there any chance my parents would ever get back together?
No.
Zero. And he's accused my mom of cheating on him with my dad. Are you kidding me? There's no chance. No chance.
That's messed up.
Anyway, I need to get off this because my blood pressure is raising. You can probably tell.
Yeah, your eyes are red.
So I had to go to this Thursday. Have you ever been through mediation for a divorce? It's a fucked situation, man. And those people, and then the dude running the fucking mediation at the end of it took 3 hours This motherfucker made $900 for that 3 hours.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah, it's
I'm guessing lawyer.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And he was just mediating between the two parties. And he didn't do shit other than, that's what the law reads. And I'm like, so what's the law versus what's just and what's right?
yeah, that's where it gets to a problem. They try and they're looking at it from an outside view.
What the
and
dog doing?
What's right and what people get settled with are. But I've heard a dozen horror stories like that.
So,
where-
but they threaten you with this. Well, okay, you can take it to trial or you can take it to this, and then you're just gonna get wrapped up in so much in lawyer fees because that's what lawyers do.
Yeah.
And I've said it before on this podcast. How many times have I said this, Adam? The only reason lawyers exist is because of other fucking lawyers. They're all pieces of fucking shit.
Yeah.
They write the laws, and then they need you to interpret them. I've spoken English my entire life. You pick up a law book and try and read this. The first
Right.
aforementioned party of the second aftermarch. It's not English. I don't know how to.
No, it's legal speak.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only reason we have lawyers is because of lawyers.
Right. And they have weaseled themselves into needing them for everything.
Right.
Yeah. You can't just go fight a traffic ticket. You got to pay them.
Oh, yeah.
And with your insurance going up, I'd rather pay them than pay the state because then I'm getting it twice. But
Exactly.
So I'm going to digress about that, but I just had to vent because that really fucking
you should.
torqued me off. And God bless my mother, and we're going to get her through this because thankfully my sisters and I, we're going to take care of my mother no matter what.
Yeah.
This is fucking bullshit. I just raked through the coals by this just fucking terrible person. Just like, how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night?
people justify a lot of shit in their own head. It's like
He should sleep with one eye open, is how he should sleep.
I'm not going to say that, but
I did.
yeah. Just karma's undefeated. Karma's undefeated because there's no expiration date on karma. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, just judging from the little bit I know about him, karma's already bit him because the best 13 years that his life has probably ever been and ever will be
Right.
is now severed and gone. And, screw him.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, we need to move. Sorry.
Bisco sign.
The Visco sign. Thanks, D.
Just touch it. It's all better now.
We need Bisco's healing.
Just think that there could be a one-legged stripper here.
The only thing is I had visions of like beautiful, like when Happy Gilmore goes to his happy place, but then I saw Stoliker.
don't ask for a one-arm stripper.
Right.
Was he in the Happy Gilmore show? Was he the one in the garters?
He was rubbing his nipples and wearing a jock strap.
There you go. Do you have a camera at his yard?
That's actually what he's doing right now at this moment.
Stalking them.
Right. He's like, how did you know? He's watching the Facebook Live. Fuck. Anything else? That's my gear grind. Sorry, that was a major one. I had to wait till the third episode we recorded tonight, the Thursday episode, to get that one out because I've been sitting on this one for a while and pretty angry. And I'm not an angry person. I'm not an angry person.
No, I've not known you to ever be angry, but
Just makes me wonder what they justify in their head for that. Like,
Right.
oh, I had to put up with this, so I'm owed this much.
Put up
Or
with what?
I-
My mom treating him like a fucking kid and taking care of him at every fucking turn?
Yeah, I just wonder what their thought press are. Or do they just know they're being assholes? Like, if he's come out and I'm going to be a dick about this, that makes more sense to me than somebody justifying it in their head that what they're doing is right.
And I got no problem with putting this on blast right now because you know what? I'm not the one that did this shit. You fucking did. So if you got a problem with it or your lawyers,
well, here's the thing: is his lawyers are going to make more money the more they get him.
Yeah.
Your mom's lawyers are not making more money because of what they save her,
right?
and that's part of the problem with the whole system is
They drag it out.
They drag it out. The attacker,
And that's what the threat is, and that's why we had to come to this in mediation because I'm like, this is just costing more and more, and he's asking for all these things and all this, and because the value of the property appreciated over $100,000. He said he's entitled to $52,000 is what the lawyer said. I'm like, and I got angry, and it was at my mom's lawyer, and she's like, she kind of cowered a little bit. I'm like, calm your tits down. Nasa was in there with me, my mom. I'm like, and a woman, like, these are not the people to go off on. These are not the people to show this at this moment. So I was able to refrain and pull back.
But you just wonder, why didn't somebody ask, what did you do to cause that $52,000 appreciation? Like, did you go out there and mow hay? Did you turn the field? Did you do anything,
Done
Did
nothing.
you put money into improving it?
Yeah.
Or,
Nothing.
If you're living,
Nothing.
If you're living with someone's a carpenter and they rebuild a house while you're together, then yeah, they put some effort and some time and money into it.
Nothing.
Not just living there.
Nothing.
Well, and I'm sorry. It's the
And
same.
I argued, well, okay, can she at least charge him rent then for all those years for living there since it was her place?
Yeah.
They're like, no, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no, I was just going to say, would it be the same thing if she had, a bunch of savings bonds and say he didn't know about them? The only reason he knows about that property is because they live there. But say he didn't know about savings bonds. I don't know how all that disclosure stuff works. I mean, again, pistols at 10 paces, but.
Right.
I think bonds are probably like a known amount. Like, if she had a bond that it was due in 10 years and it'll be worth X dollars and she had it before, that's something finite that they could put a number on. If she had bought like
Right.
Apple stock back then and all of a sudden it's worth $200 million now, then maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, it still seems to
I'm
me
not a
like
lawyer.
it's a slippery slope of, where is the line drawn, and
I thought
like
this
going-
shit's horseshit. So I
going
mean,
after her pension and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
is
and
just silly to me.
legally. So here's the thing, and here's where this guy is not a man. You don't have to accept any of this. You can opt out and be a real man and accept your responsibility. 1, for your debts, and for 2, you didn't do anything, and for 3, you didn't do anything to earn that pension. You cashed out your retirement and you spent it all already.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
be a man. That's what I'm saying. Like, what a fucking man are you? What kind of fucking man are you? And he wants to argue that he had cancer, which he's free and clear of the cancer, which my mom wanted to get divorced years ago. Then he came down with cancer, so she helped him through all that, too. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And this is the fucking reward.
And
I mean-
all I can tell you, in another year and a half, it'll be over and you'll be relieved.
I know.
It'll be
And
gone,
less than a year and a half, a couple months.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I know that's and we'll make it through because my family, we do things. We get out there. We're doers. We persevere. Stuff doesn't happen to us. We make things happen. That piece of shit, things happen to him, and he plays woe is me and the victim.
Yeah.
We're not victims, man. We are not victims.
Well, like I say, the best thing that's probably ever happened to him in his life
yeah.
is now going to be gone, and he's still a piece of shit. So,
I guarantee though, 3 years from now, he'll have blown through that money and all of a sudden.
Oh, less than probably a year.
And he'll try and contact your mom back, and he'll try and
Say you should owe me more money. Yeah, you should give me more.
No, he'll try and get back. Oh, I'm sick.
So
man,"
here's
and
the
he'll
other
try and
key,
weasel
my-
his way back in, and
So we're sitting there at the
mediation.
Thank you. You knew the word I was looking for. God bless you. But so my mom calls and said only him and I can go in as well as our lawyers. We get a call that he has to have his daughter-in-law in there because he needs an interpreter because of his cancer that he had was in his throat area, tonsils or whatever. So he can't communicate. I'm like,
fucking right.
he communicates just fine. And I told my mom, well, then I'm going to be in there with you because you deserve support too. And the lawyers agreed. So I got to be in there as well as her. They split us up because of everything that had happened with the report and because my mom said she didn't feel safe with the domestic violence. And so we find out after an agreement's pretty much been made that, my son and my daughter-in-law are buying me a house anyway, so I'm good to go. And I'm like, what? And my mom told me that house is actually his ex-wife's, and his ex-wife has offered for him to like, you can move in with me. This ex-wife that my mom figures when they first got together, as well as maybe random parts of their relationship he's been with.
Oh boy.
Trash. This is the trashiest thing. Mom, I love you. Don't ever associate with trash again, please. I will step in this time. I couldn't. I was going through my own stuff with my own marriage. If you ever try to bring trash around like this again, I will put the kibosh on this in a hurry. Trash. Just trash. Just trash.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve that.
Fucking trash.
That sucks.
So we're taking out the trash now. We're going to move on. We're going to be happy. We're going to have good holidays. So last year, did I tell you that story? I think I told you off air, but I didn't put it on blast on the podcast. We went out to see my sister in Minnesota. He forbade her from going out there with us to Minnesota to see my sister and her family.
What's this, the 1860s?
Right. He said, nope, if you go out there, I won't be here when you come back. And my mom, at the time, I don't know what was going on, but like some weird control thing, something else. But like, she's like, I can't go out there with you because Wes will just be pissed. And I'm like, to see your daughter, your son-in-law, and your 2 grandsons, you can't go out with us. Free ride, you're hitching with us. I'm paying the bills. I was paying for it. I didn't ask for any money for gas or anything. And yeah, she couldn't go out. So she couldn't go out with us. Remember when we went out last year? My mom, 2 years ago, my mom was with us.
Yep.
But that was before NASA. But NASA went out this year. And then, but like, he said no if you go out there, like, and just got pissed and just got pissy about it. That's a sign right there that like something's very inherently wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't give you a reason.
Oh boy.
Well.
But anyway, God, we gotta get it. We're a half hour in. We gotta get out this. Let's talk about something else. I got an idea. Can we employ her? And I got a really good idea. I came up with this the other night. If you, and I know you don't like country music. I know you don't like country music. But if you listen to country music right now, a lot of times the big hits, all they do is they rehash either the same beat melody or a song from the past, either the music or the lyrical pattern, and they write something new to it. Can we write one of those and have a country hit? I think we should on the podcast. It shan't be that hard.
No, it wouldn't be hard.
But if you listen now, like Country Road, Take Me Home, what else has been done? The one Heads Carolina, Tails California, that's been redone.
I actually heard that on the way in.
Yeah, like all these, they've been redone, and they're very, like, to the subject matter original, they're very consistent. There's about a dozen more. But right now, if you want to write a country hit, that's what you have to do, and I think we could do it. I think we got the chops to do it.
Yeah.
I really do. What do you think of this idea?
Oh, I love it. I love it. We could draw inspiration from this.
Okay.
I've seen the ones where they redo it like Hank Williams Sr. singing like NWA music.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is
You can find me in the club.
I like this.
A bottle full of bub. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug if you're into getting rough.
This is classic
Go
stuff.
Shotty, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday.
There's been a lot of recording artists fighting against AI for stuff like that because they don't want them, like, impersonating their songs and rewriting it. And it's like, well, Weird Al did it. What the hell?
So it's a formula I've noticed because I've been listening. People I hang out with listen to country music, and I'm not as averse to it as you are. I'm like, it is what it is. I don't have to think.
I just get bored by it.
Yeah,
That's all.
But I've noticed they're all rehashes of songs that have already been done. Like, that's what they do. Like, I'm like, oh shit, this is. The other day it was even like, fuck man, it was what's the one that Uncle Cracker did? And they did a rehash of that one. Like, I'm like, and that was a rehash of a fucking rewrite song.
Oh, was it Drift Away or there was another one too?
Yeah, Drift Away. Yeah.
This is another good one.
My mind on my money.
Yeah.
My money on my mind. Sipping on gin and juice. With so much drama in the L.
All right, we got a call coming in.
It's
All right.
You're on the P&A Podcast Express. Go ahead. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Hello, go ahead.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Do we still have the caller on the line? Hello? Did you
No.
drop the call?
I have a feeling there might have been a little vapor lock there.
Oh.
Stage fright.
Is it coming back?
No.
Okay. That's okay.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. All right. Go ahead, Adam.
Hello, caller.
Hello, this is Karen Smith.
Karen Smith?
You're a Karen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and my child got loose. Have you seen him? His name was Lucifer.
Your child got loose?
Yeah.
Lucifer? No, we have not. Can you explain what does Lucifer look like?
Oh, he kind of looks like a beat of a trash bag.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out. Where was Lucifer last seen?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I see him out the window. Oh, no, that's the neighbor's trash can.
If we find him, would you like us to send him straight to hell?
First, I would like to know. Have you ever tried Doritos?
Ever tried what?
Doritos.
Doritos.
Yeah.
I-
You've seen a real hit.
We're big fans.
Big fans.
Oh, honey. Oh, that is just amazing.
All right. So we'll be on.
Oh my God, I see.
You seen Lucifer?
Oh yes, I gotta go.
Do you smell fire and brimstone?
Actually, I have to go take my granny shower. I need
Okay.
to go take a shit.
Okay. Well, you do what you have to do, all right? Thanks for calling the P&A Podcast Express. We'll be, wait a minute. What are we supposed to do, Karen?
Looking for Lewis Cipher.
Looking for Lewis Cipher. Got it.
Oh, Karen is gone.
Okay, Lewis Cipher. Got it. And
In very typical Karen fashion.
and we do like Doritos a lot.
I think everybody does. I never heard someone go,
Have you, yeah, wait a minute.
That seems like
have
a setup.
We should have a poll question for the podcast. Do you like Doritos? Just yes or no. Check yes or no. Seems simple, right? Excuse me.
So Doritos have always been the nacho cheese flavor. That was always the standard Doritos. And I've heard people say,
Right.
no, do you like plain ones? I'm like, well, those are just tortilla chips. But I don't ever remember Doritos having a plain.
No, Doritos have always been the nacho cheese flavor.
That's what I thought too.
Because remember, we used to go up to Hunter's Bar. Did you go with us on those treks? And they'd make this is very post, like, remember Doritos Locos Tacos now.
Yeah.
But like Hunter's Bar back in like 2001, they'd make their nachos with Doritos and it would blow people's minds. Like, oh,
That's the way I've always done it. It's always been Doritos, shredded cheese, and taco sauce.
right. It's so good. Or taco Doritos. Taco flavored Doritos and make nachos out of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that really bothers me, people talk about the price of gas, the price of eggs and whatever else. The price of Doritos have gotten out of hand.
My God, it's like $7 for a bag.
Yeah.
Who the fuck can afford that?
Nobody.
I can't.
You can get the Doritos seasoning, I think, at Costco. It's like a big spice jar, and I'm like, I'll start making my own.
I'll make my own.
You know how good it would be to like fry up your own tortillas and do it that way?
Wait, I wanted this one.
Yeah.
The ones that I miss are, I used to love going to Chi-Chi's out on Bay Road in Saginaw. You'd get like these free nachos.
Dude, Chi-Chi's was the best.
I love their food. And I love their margaritas. They would give me heartburn and I would be in pain afterward, but I was
Yeah.
still down 2 of them.
Was La Senorita still open when you guys were
Yeah.
over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We used to go there a lot. It was a certain
Yeah, a certain thing.
night something was on special.
Right.
I am on the toilet again.
Again? Did you eat too many Doritos?
I hope you're not eating Doritos out of the neighbor's trash can.
Those are Doritos touched by Lucifer.
And Karen's gone again.
I like it.
What were those ones that came in their own individual packs? It was like a single chip that had like
Oh,
ghost
the one
pepper.
chip challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah. We never did that one on the podcast, did we? I've done the one chip challenge before.
I have not. How did you do with it?
Fine. I mean, it's hot. I mean, don't get me wrong. My eyes are gonna tear up and I'm gonna like turn red, but I survived. I've done it probably twice or 3 times.
So a place that I used to work, they had everybody do the one chip challenge, and I was able to dodge it, not doing it because
they're like, if the system goes down, I need to be able to repair it. He's an IT guy, so yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. I watched one of our sales guys like be on the floor and need help out of the building after because he had like a gut reaction from it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I got an hour and a half drive home while I'm down here, so I'm not doing that.
In fact, I just noticed that going down Bay Road the other day, where La Senorita was, there's a Taco Bell there now, and I'm like, come on.
That's just cheating.
Yeah. But there was something weird when that place closed, the owner got caught with a bunch of surveillance equipment in there.
I heard that. I remember that.
Tables bugged,
and there was like, it was weird.
Yeah,
it got weird.
And a lot of people were like, oh, well, that's, people keep tabs on their employees, or you watch the cash register. And they said, no, it wasn't that. That's all I remember.
It was way more than that.
They used to have like I think it was a $4.99 nacho, all you could eat nacho bar.
Yeah.
And 25-cent beer night.
Yep.
And we would go there. We would go there all the time and just get hammered and nachoed up. It was pretty fantastic.
God damn it. I was born too late. No, wait. I wanted to be born later.
Earlier, because then we'd enjoy all the 70s cars. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I still want you to sell me that 78 Camaro.
Yeah.
I know it's a piece of shit, but I want it.
It's not bad. But
the body's good on it.
I had a user submitted question.
Go ahead, user.
Are you familiar with lutefisk?
Is that the terrible fish from fucking Norway?
Well, no, it's a terrible fish, but not from Norway. This one's not from Norway.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is, though.
It is a
Greenland?
dried stockfish, normally cod or ling. Haddock and pullet can also be used. It has been brined in lye, soaked to remove the resulting caustic solution, and then steamed until it flakes.
That sounds like a recipe for meth, not a fish I'd eat.
That sounds terrible.
Is somebody going to send us a can of this and we'll try it or what?
I wouldn't try it. Listen to this. Generally speaking, people say lutefish tastes mildly fishy with a soapy aftertaste and a hint of ammonia on the palate. Sounds wonderful.
You've also seen that I can eat anything.
But would you eat that? Would you willingly be like, you know what I'm craving is ammonia and
I would try
soap.
it.
I'd try it.
I don't know if I could get past the smell.
Well, I've seen the documentaries on the Inuit up in Alaska where there's like a fish and they like bury it underground and let it rot. And
Right.
Nasty, and they dig it up and it's like a delicacy for them. And I was like, it just doesn't sound safe, let alone taste good.
Wow, that's terrible.
All right, so listener submission. I guess we'll do this. We have all kinds of listener submissions we have throughout history. We've done
some.
You need to get a mailing address and have a thing like, if you want us to try something, send us some. We'll do it.
That's not a bad idea. What mailing address should we use? The studio?
Yeah, sure.
It's not like weirdos don't already show up at my house knowing where the studio is.
That is true.
You got stalked.
Well, you could live on a street with more than 2 houses on it.
That's trure. That's true.
Even if they knock on every door, they got like 5 minutes invested.
I don't think you even answered when I knocked at the front door, so they may not find you.
Right? I'm not a front door guy, though.
I know. I kind of figured that when I looked up. I'm like, well, there's no walkway to there. And
you're like, well, even the old house in Tower Line, like, always a back.
The one.
Please use the back door.
Well, the one house we had in college, like all our friends just wandered in and out.
Right.
Like, we had one friend of ours, his girlfriend, she would ring the doorbell every time the doorbell would ring, and we're like, cops? No.
Cops, no.
They're the only people that rang the doorbell.
So, like, ooh. Well, you remember, the house at Tower Line was kind of I always call it a flop house. Is there a better way to describe it? Like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
like you were so Bandit was there a lot because we were going to school and you were with your parents in Saginaw. So you'd come over. You were welcome anytime. But like, what do you remember most about it? I mean, like Thirsty Thursdays were always a big event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Merv lighting Pokey the cactus on fire. It had a bunch of cotton on it, and he lit it, and the whole thing just goes up. And you were like, well, what the hell did you think it would do? It's cotton.
Right. Pokey the cactus. So we fed Pokey the cactus nothing but beer for years. And then we gave him a shot of tequila, and he threw up.
Jeez.
It's true, right?
Yeah. What was it? Oh, Angel the dog. I remember her.
Yep.
She barked her ass off at me every time for like a month.
Right.
And finally, she's like, all right, the guy's not going to kill me.
What the fuck? The whole thing.
What else did we do? Oh, we shot a bowling ball with a 12 gauge in the backyard. I don't know. We just had an extra bowling ball. We're like, what do you want to do with it? And
Well, why not?
he's like, I got a 12 gauge. It hardly did anything to it, and I shot it at like almost point blank.
No police involved this time.
None got called that
No.
time. No, we
Nope.
did not get a felony arrest. That was the pistol grip 12 gauge
Yeah,
too, wasn't it?
yep.
Yeah.
But that was like, the place reminds me of the house on Fight Club, where it's like out in the middle of that industrial district, and they can do whatever the hell they want.
And that's
Nobody's
what's us, man.
bothered.
We used to fish for semis. We'd go out there with a fishing pole because semis would go up and down Tower Line Road because Delphi was right there. Well, it used to be Delphi. Now it's next year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next year. So we literally cast a full beer can. The object of the game was to get a semi to run over the beer can and flatten it.
Run it over, yep.
Yeah, to run it over. So you cast it out there and you'd reel it. And obviously, think about the game. It's kind of like a modified Frogger, only you're trying to get the thing run over. So you'd cast the beer can out on Tower Line. Tower Line was four lanes wide. And you'd be like, all right, come on. You'd see a semi coming. You'd try to hit the tire, and that's how you scored points, as if you got the
Nice.
beer can flattened. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like a couple times the truck drivers would look at us and kind of laugh, and like we're just a couple idiots out there and nothing better to do.
Well, the fishing pole just.
They weren't wrong.
No.
This is a game we played a lot. We actually played that game a lot.
Another night we were there and we heard this car revving up when we could see fire across in the parking lot. So we kind of looked over there across the street. It was somebody with an old Mercury with the flame shooters out the exhaust. Just rah, bah, bah, and shoot a blowtorch out there. I'm like, man, I wanted one of those for tailgaters.
Oh, hell yeah. I always wanted to put like stadium lights on the front and back of my car with a big switch in the middle.
Yeah.
So if somebody's coming up behind you with the bright headlights or in front of you, you could flash them your brights. If they didn't turn them off, you throw that big switch, and yeah, it's enough to make your car stall out, but
Yeah.
they're blind. They might never see again.
Do with the Tesla. I got
So
batteries.
we were given a P.O. box we could use here in Deckerville.
It's on.
So yeah, if you got weird shit you want us to try, send it to P.O. Box. I'm now that I read it, I'm 100% sure it's not real. Oh God.
That's not a real P.O. box.
P.O. Box 69420.
Oh,
There is not anywhere near that many P.O. boxes in the
What
Deckerville
an
fucking post
asshole.
office.
What an asshole.
I fucking love it.
Here I'm thinking, okay, I'll call your bluff. I'll announce the P.O. Box, and then I read it, and yeah.
That's not a
dick.
real P.O. box.
What a dick.
get sponsorship through the post office.
I can't believe our listeners don't have more integrity than that.
No, I do, because there's a lot of integrity to that joke.
There is.
So the other thing we used to do is we used to have these water balloon launchers, which is a big slingshot that takes, like, if you want to man it properly, like 3 people.
Yeah.
They say you can hold it like this and use your foot, but we would take 3 and so the neighbor, actually the landlord, had a barn right there. So picture this, if you will. We're on the corner of Tower Line and 46. Buena Vista High School's kitty corner from us. Delphi's over here, but behind us was farm. And so there was a barn back there. So we would shoot random things out of this big old slingshot at the barn, including eggs, fruit, whatever we could find. It was always a good time.
Yeah. And a couple times, like on Sundays when they were closed, we'd try and drag race up and down the thing. That we were always going to spray paint a quarter-mile thing down there. And it's like I remember watching the Fast and Furious movie when the first one came out.
Right.
They're spray painting that line. I'm like, those fuckers stole that from us.
They did, because we were going to do that. We're going to spray paint where a quarter mile was on Tower Line, because Sundays was slow, and we were going to drag race. We were going to drag race everything from fucking belt sanders to fast cars, you know? Like,
So, me and a few of my friends used to go out with, we'd buy like lantern oil, like kerosene, basically, and we'd put it in a garden sprayer. We'd take it out, we'd write on the road in front of people's houses. Like, we went to one house, somebody we didn't like, we just wrote asshole with a giant arrow pointing at their house on the road and lit it on fire, and it would reglaze the pavement. So you'd have, the light gray pavement with just black. Well, one night we accidentally tipped like 3 gallons of it over on the road, and we're like, well, what do we do with that? And I'm like, set it on fire. It's like 3 a.m. And this was on M19. And
Jeez.
so we set it on, we lit it, and it's a huge flame. And by the time we did it, it had really like spread out on the road, and just this huge long flame. And we got way back. We're probably a half mile down the road, and we're just kind of pulled off to the side watching, and there's a vehicle coming, and all of a sudden we hear engine brakes. It's a semi that, and I don't know what this guy was thinking. He ended up driving through it anyways. It's like, geez, oh, Pete.
well, you remember one of my favorite things was we had the, this is long before hand sanitizer was a thing. Really, like, it wasn't widely marketed or anything, but when I worked at the medical supply place, they had the Epic, what they call it? Was it EpiCleanse or something? It was,
I don't remember.
it was essentially fucking hand sanitizer, but it was mostly alcohol.
Yeah.
We realized if you sprayed, like, if you were to sit there with this shit, it was very gel-like, gelatinous. Remember, we'd spray signs and then light it on fire, and it would sit there and just flame. Like, it would literally flame for like 15 minutes.
It was
and
like napalm.
yeah.
Yeah. We did the same thing with the lamp oil with, there's a statute of limitations all gone, right?
7 years on anything like this.
Mailboxes. We would,
Yeah.
So there's the big two. There's murder and rape that have no statute of limitation. Everything else is 7 years, so you're good.
yeah, okay,
I thought
we're
it was
good.
murder and taxes.
Oh,
That's where
well,
they get the expression "death and taxes" from.
right.
I don't know if is rape. I thought they.
There's no statute of limitations on that. See Danny
I-
Masterson.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but I think what he got charged with was within the statute, but for civil suits, there is no statute.
Right. So that's why they.
So the people's whose mailboxes you burned might, yeah.
Well, we didn't rape those mailboxes.
Well, how could they tell? Because you burned them.
Well,
We
You dropped your loads in there.
they're just going to have to take our word for it.
they didn't have DNA tests back then.
No.
Right. There was no DNA back then.
I mean, we blew up a couple, but and apparently you only get in really trouble if there's actually mail in it. I looked that up years ago.
So it's an empty mailbox, then you're fine.
Oh,
Kids,
well,
wait. What's
the more you know.
Oh, remember we found a cat at the Tower Line house. And somebody heard something mewing in the bushes, and Ryan went outside and it's a little baby kitten. And
Yeah.
we assumed it came from the barn, but it never went back. It's just like, hey, these people are chill.
Yeah, we had a cat. We just hung out with a cat. We treated it right. We fed
Yeah.
it beer. I'm not going to lie. We fed everything beer.
Well, it's good for things.
Did we not feed everything beer?
I think so.
Yeah.
Dog, me, the cactus.
The cactus. Remember the PS2 fund?
I don't remember that one.
So we just had a random thing sitting there because we wanted to buy a PS2. So we take back empties or we do whatever and we just throw it in the PS2 fund.
Oh, I didn't remember that
Got
one.
a jar. That's how we bought our first PlayStation 2 at the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to
remember-
ask if you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I kind of quit playing video games after I injured my one arm because you almost everything you all need two hands now
Right.
to do it. And I remember Tarswell was talking about it one time, and he's going, "Did you ever play video games?" I'm like, "Well, I like the shooting games and the race car games." He's like, "Oh, I got those on there," and I'm like, But I got a fast car and I got real guns. Why don't I need playing?
Why do I need to play the games, right? Yeah. So that Tower Line house was a lot of great memories, man. I lived there for 7 years. Tom never raised the rent once. We started renting that out back in 1999 for $300 a month. And when I moved out of there, it was actually 1998. When I moved out of there in 2005, he was still charging us $300 a month for rent.
But he had to bulldoze it after you left.
Well, you know some of the debauchery that took
Yeah.
place there.
He just cleaned up evidence for you. He was doing you a favor.
He did. He did. We talked about crimes without a statute of limitations. There we go.
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
It was good times.
I was at that house a few times.
Yeah. And then we, right. And then I moved out to Seattle and I tried to convince you to come out there and work. And then eventually you did. And
Yeah. It was about 6 months later, I think, because
Yeah.
it took a while to get through all the
yeah. And that's how you met your wife and
Yep.
had kids. And there we go.
rest is history.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a long loop for you to get to marrying your wife, though. I mean, you saw her and you liked her, but wasn't she married at the time, or no?
No, she was dating that some other guy,
Can't even remember his name.
John, I think,
Yeah,
because he was the guy that they just bought a house,
right.
and we were going over there for like a housewarming party.
Wasn't he from Canada or something?
I was, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, we called him up. And we're like, oh, can we bring anything, to have a party? And he's like, oh yeah, can you bring toilet paper? And we're like, what the fuck? Like, are we gonna go?
Right, we gonna go TP some shit or what?
Yeah. And then Kristen had told me that his grandma bought him like a brand new Corvette. Not long
Yeah.
afterward, and I guess he wrapped it into the walls, racing it at a track day down there somewhere.
Jesus Christ! No, he was the one. Yeah, from Canada. Family had money.
Yeah,
Family had money, and so
but she broke up with him.
So how it worked was my ex-wife actually worked with his wife at a bank for a little bit, just a part-time gig my ex-wife had before we had kids, and that's how we got to know her.
Yep, WAMU.
Yeah, Washington. WAMU,
Washington Mutual.
Washington, and then we introduced them. It was actually on the 4th of July at Gasworks Park.
Guessworks. Yep.
Yeah,
Dang.
they actually met each other, and he was smitten with her, and yeah.
Well, I remember I was kind of pissed at him because he told me years later. I knew she was in a relationship, but I didn't really pursue it or anything. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Kristen just got married not long ago." I go, "She married that douchebag she was dating before?" She's like, "No, she married some guy in the military." I'm like, "You tell me she was single and you didn't tell me about it in between there somewhere?"
What an asshole.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
It all worked out. And then the night that my ex-wife decided to leave me, actually it was my ex-wife and his wife that came to pick me up from jail, and yeah. The rest is history.
That was when you made it all the way to your parking spot and they still got you, wasn't it?
Yeah. Made it all the way to the driveway.
Jeez, oh Pete.
It happens. I hired a good lawyer. Things weren't that terrible.
No, I got impaired driving when I was 20 or so. I was a designated driver. And I went in there, and they used to have these signs in the bar that would say, have 1 drink an hour and you're fine under the limit. And so that's all I had. I wasn't too drunk. And where this bar was, it was on kind of a blind corner. Well, I pulled out of there, and this car switched lanes, and I swerved to avoid it, and I actually avoided an accident. And for some reason, the cop went after me,
Right.
pulled me over. And at the time, the limit in Michigan was .08 for impaired, and I blew a .81 or 0.81.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I'm like, come on. And he's like, no, we got to take you in. And so they took me down to this was up in the UP. They took me into the precinct thing there. And then they're going to have me blow in this. There's an actual machine that they have you blow into. And
Right.
as I'm walking there, I was just thirsty because I hadn't had any drink in a couple hours. And I went to take a drink out of the water fountain, and one of the cops literally tackled me and pulled me off the thing. And I'm like, what are you doing? I just want a drink of water. And he'd go in there and I took the thing on the machine, and that gave the official reading that was impaired. And somebody told me that years later that just that little bit of water might have been enough to wash the alcohol out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But this was still back in, would have been the early 90s, and I think I got $100 fine, and I think my driver's license was restricted for, 6 months or something.
Well, it's not like now, and I'm not ever condoning drinking and driving, but they can literally ruin your life now
Oh yeah,
for
big time.
that transgression. They can literally ruin your life.
But yeah,
And I know that all the people out there, and I get it, but everybody makes mistakes, and no one deserves to have their life ruined for that mistake, which was harmless, as you said.
yeah.
No one got hurt,
But it is. There's.
but
yeah,
people have to learn the lesson. You know,
I mean,
I don't know the answer. I guess I don't know the answer. I'm the asshole in this story. I'm okay with that.
yeah. But I've never gotten one since, and I always try and keep careful and make sure I'm good about it. And
Right? Huh? Huh?
And then they never actually put me in a cell either. They just had me sit in a chair for like 6 hours till someone could come pick me up.
Were you bored as shit for 6 hours?
Yeah. Nobody had phones then, so.
So you're like sitting there like,
Looking for a Reader's Digest or something.
Yeah.
it's Reader's Digest.
We actually found an old bunch of those at my wife's beach house. I think they used them to start fires with and stuff, but we moved in there for COVID for a while, and there was a whole box full of these old Reader's Digests from the 70s. And I always thought it was cool looking through the ads and stuff.
Oh,
Some of
yeah.
the old, they're showing, the brand new Ford Escort, $39.95. And then some of the articles are funny because people are bitching about the same stuff they're bitching about today. Taxes are too high and property values are going so up. It's getting harder to afford property and all this stuff. I'm like, nobody fixed this since then? Does it
Right.
make some sense to
It's
go?
been 50 years and no one's fixed this shit yet.
I don't know what year it was, but my dad decided he was going to buy a Yugo
Oh, yeah.
for work.
Remember those?
And he went to a dealership. I believe there was a dealership that sold them in Sterling Heights that had them. And he went down there, and he's like, he came back without one, without buying one. And I can remember him and my mom talking about it because I was pretty young. And he's like, when they advertise that they're like $9.99 or whatever they were so cheap. It doesn't come with a drivetrain.
What?
Yeah, you were basically, for that price, it was just the body. Everything was an option.
It's all an option. They're like, drivetrain? Yes, check. Another $1,000. Steering wheel? Check. Yeah, $200 more.
Yeah, basically. He's like, so what he ended up doing was buying a used, but in very good shape, Pontiac T1000.
Oh, the old T1000s.
Yeah.
I want a Chevette still so bad. I really do. And he knows this.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't seen one in years.
well, there's a couple of them around here that people bought. I don't know where they got them from, but yeah.
Yeah.
Vintage like Survivors.
When I was a
Chevettes.
freshman in college,
Or a T1000.
I
That was
helped
Pontiac's version.
I helped install a new radio in a Chevette for a girl, and what a pain in the ass. What a huge pain in the ass.
There's no room anywhere.
Well, it was, so you know how most radios, you like pop them out and they slide out and you can slide a new radio in?
Yeah.
This had a metal frame like around the knobs and stuff that wouldn't have fit any other radio on the planet. So I'm actually out there
You
with
had
the
to cut them out.
I'm actually out there with a
cut the
grinder.
switch.
You had to cut them out. I remember that.
And I was just like, what a pain in the ass.
But what's weird though is cars now are kind of going back to that where you got to pay for all the stuff now. Like BMW owners, they have to pay a subscription to use the heated seats.
Yeah.
Like Tesla owners, you have to pay a subscription to use the auto drive feature. And it's like,
What?
it's like, shouldn't people be beta testing this for you for free? Yeah, and it's like
Right.
it's something kind of ridiculous.
Well, subscriptions are like the new way to make sure that you have to pay forever on stuff.
Yeah, they slowly pick at you instead of asking you a big chunk.
Logitech is now selling a mouse that they aren't selling you. They're leasing it to you. You lease it for like $20 a year. And there's different models that you can get, but it's like 20, 30, $40 a year depending on the model that you get.
Yeah.
And if anything goes wrong with it, their big thing is they'll update it and replace it if something goes wrong with it. But you're limited.
Yeah.
Like you can only get like one new one a year. And it's like, just go buy a damn mouse. Why would you pay a subscription fee on a mouse.
That seems bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Some bean counter that sat down and went, "Oh, we can make 20% more if we screw the people over this way."
If we do it this way.
So yeah, I hate subscriptions.
Yeah.
Software companies are doing that all the time. Where like, oh, you know, you want to use something once, buy a subscription to it for a year, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go torrent it.
Well, apps are for TV apps, streaming stuff is like that too. It's like
Yeah.
you want to pay to watch, let's say, because sometimes I can't get the Lions games at all, and I through whatever I pay it, and I was like, yeah, but go in, then I cancel it at the end of the month, and then for the next 2 months they keep sending me a bill. Then I got to go in and unfuck it and send it back to them, and not very fun.
Even though you cancel it. That's the thing. That's how they try to get you. And that's what my cable, and I've talked about this probably ad nauseum on the fucking podcast about how DirecTV does that to me.
Yeah.
Like I'll look and all of a sudden it creeps. It's the bill creep. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
It goes up and up and up because they take away the discounts or the promos or whatever. And next thing you know, you're paying $130 for what everybody else is paying $80 for, or $70 for.
I'll have to clue you guys in on an option.
Tell them to go fuck themselves.
Well, pretty much. It's doing that with your dollars, though.
Nice.
I think cable's about the only thing that keeps going up the longer you use it. Like even insurance, you'll get discounts after for being a
I don't know,
long-time member, but cable, it's like, wait, the new guy gets this for half off, and I got to pay for.
We just got fucked here in Michigan, big time.
With what? Auto insurance?
Yeah, everybody's insurance took a huge jump.
Mine just went up big time. Like
Yeah, mine
I'm ready
did
to
too.
shop around. Like mine went up literally 20%.
Yeah, I'm paying more than I ever have for insurance, and I'm not getting anything.
Sounds like this is the next rant.
Yes.
I'm coming for you, Grand Mole. Wait,
Yeah.
Well, they,
Gretchen. That's who
Yeah.
we got now.
well,
They're
they-
all terrible. Every woman governor we've ever had is fucking terrible because they're women.
Well, remember they used to get us with car tabs in Washington. Those
Yeah.
things kept going up and up, and
Yeah.
it's like, I was driving an older car at the time, and you go in to renew, it's like $180 for tabs just for those, and so then they went through and somebody put a bill on the ballot to reduce all car tabs to $30, and everybody voted for it. It was supposed to go into effect in the law, and the politicians just went, no, we don't want to do that. And we're like, wait a minute, our votes count.
Everybody
right?
Yeah.
voted. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here I just had renew plates in July, and it was $120 for my son's 2006 PT Cruiser
Yeah.
for tabs on it. It's like, what in the hell? Why?
And well, they're saying a lot of states are losing money on the gas taxes. You know, so for every gallon of gas, like 68 cents or something is taxes. Well, with the electric cars, they aren't getting that gas tax as much anymore.
Oh, but they're getting it a million other ways.
Yeah,
They fuck you.
Now the registration on an electric car
fuck
here
you
in
with the
Michigan
taxes.
is ridiculous.
Is
The
it?
well, they go by vehicle weight.
Oh, yeah, those things weigh a ton.
So they absolutely, I mean, $500-600, $700 for
Yeah.
tabs on those things.
Jeez. I didn't know
Well, they're
that.
not paying any gas taxes.
Yeah. I didn't know that till somebody, well, I didn't realize they were that heavy. I just never really thought about it. And somebody at work had one. They said, yeah, when they got to get their tires replaced, they're like buying the equivalent of like heavy duty diesel tires because
Yeah.
they need to support all that weight and not wear out. But I'm dreading the day. I know I'll have to get one day, and we even talked about converting my old Bug into an electric car. I just didn't know how to do it.
Did you hear what happened with Ford and their electric vehicle division?
Yeah, they just
put the kibosh on it because
canceled it all.
they lost $5.5 billion on their electric cars.
What?
Oh,
Ford's never had an electric car.
the Ford Lightning.
Oh, the E-Stang or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a lot of them. But yeah, they
And
lost
some
a
were
ton.
hybrids too, but yeah.
Because they're all garbage.
Well, a small electric vehicle that doesn't have to haul much weight
Yeah.
is fine. Like the e-bikes, like Cookie's e-bike, he can't stay on.
Yeah.
He's so woke. I fucking love that.
Well,
He has no idea what I'm saying when I say that. And if he did, he'd be pissed.
when I think of Cookie, I do think of the Green Initiative,
Just so woke.
but not that Green Initiative. But yeah, I mean for like inner city commuting
Yeah.
for one person the minute you start to load those things up with weight, they are so inefficient.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at switching my whole house over to solar, and I've watched some videos of these guys who are charging their vehicle off of solar panels, and literally like thousands of dollars in solar panels and batteries to charge their vehicle to get like 80 miles a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? I mean,
Well,
literally enough that I could power my whole house. I was watching a video, a guy was charging up his Tesla. He's like, I can drive at 80 miles a day for free. And I'm thinking, you have 15 grand in solar shit there to drive 80 miles a day.
But they come with huge tax incentives. So when you go to do your taxes at the end of the year, they're all tax rebates that come on it. And even for newer green appliances, like we had just updated our heater and heat pump, and we got like $9,000 in tax credit for it. So there, I mean, that's the other upside to it. But.
Well, like I'm looking at putting in a heat pump unit that would be all off solar and battery.
Yeah.
That, you know, would do my heating and cooling, and basically no running air conditioners this year in the house, because I don't have central air.
What the dog doing?
I had a outdoor wood burner for heat for years, and that all the equipment for that would go where you would have central air.
Yeah.
And so I've never had central air, but now I want to put a heat pump in and all that, and do my heating and cooling with that off of solar. And that takes about 1/10 of what charging a car for 80 miles a day.
Yeah.
And that would handle all my heating and cooling. I
Right.
wouldn't hardly have a gas bill, and my electric bill would drop by $200 a month.
Yeah, that's what ours. We figured out it was about $400 a month between the gas and the electric all year, and it dropped it down to less than half that.
Yeah.
Just for the newer efficiency one. And it's kind of weird because like sometimes if my feet or ankles ache, I used to like to sit them over the radiator when the heat's on and
Yep.
relax them. It's not hot air that comes out of there anymore. It's a constant circulation of like medium air, but
Yeah.
it keeps the house exactly where you want it. And I was pretty impressed. I was happy with it. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was one thing when I had the outdoor wood burner, is it was there were lots of hot spots in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seemed like the whole house was hot, because even if you couldn't run it unless it was below about 20 degrees.
yeah,
And everything got so hot if you didn't, because even when the fan wasn't running on the furnace, there was hot air coming through the vents, just trickling through, and it was so hot.
yeah.
You know, it'd be 80 degrees in there all the time, which Mary didn't mind, but I wasn't a huge fan of.
You're like, too hot.
My sister had one. I think it was eventually, they had it for a long time, and I think it was eventually some of the pipes started to rot out or something, and they just decided not to put it back in. But they live out in the woods, so there was trees and lumber everywhere. They just throw anything in there, and they liked it, but didn't opt to replace it.
It gets too hot. I've seen it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I just saw this come through my Facebook, the GMC sponsored. So the GMC Hummer electric vehicle pickup 2X. Is this true? Do you know what they want to lease this thing for 36 months per month? It's a 2024 GMC Hummer electric vehicle pickup. $849 a month to lease this thing.
That's the other thing, is vehicles have just gotten
And that's with
out of
five
hand.
that's with $5,000 down.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Is that
You better-
real?
you
That's
better-
not real.
Actually get a Hummer.
That's not
for that.
real. That's not real, right?
Well, yeah.
Maybe it is.
So-
$850 a month to lease a Hummer electric vehicle.
So let's look at that, and
Yeah,
then
that just seems...
let's look at how much is your insurance going to be. You're going to have,
Because normally leases are like dirt cheap compared to what your payments are going to be.
Yeah.
So what's this thing worth then? $300,000? It's got to be worth $300,000.
probably. Now think about, you're going to have, with full coverage insurance, $300 to $350 a month.
Yeah.
Insurance on that. So you're paying $1,200 a month to drive that vehicle. On top of, you know, we got to notice, I don't know if you've gotten them here yet, we got to notice that with our new smart meter, cars and things like that, we're going to start being charged at a higher rate than, like, my refrigerator.
No, I have not received that
You'll
notice.
get that. Have you gotten smart meters here yet?
No.
Okay, you're getting them.
How smart are they?
They know what's plugged into your house. I can go online now to my account and I can look at like what my computer uses for power, what my TV uses. They can tell what everything is.
Well, I could have used a smart meter back 7 years ago when I was down on my luck and the fucking hot water heater went out and I couldn't figure it out. And I replaced the thermostat as well as an element. And then I come to find out I called an electrician. He's like, check that little stupid box on the back of your house. He says, check the voltage coming in. And I did. It was only 120. It wasn't putting in the 220 I needed. And so I called DTE. They're like, oh, well, what's going on? I'm like, my hot water heater's not working because I'm not getting enough electricity to it, enough voltage. And they're like, well, that sounds like a you problem. I'm like, no, this is coming in from your stupid metering box, which they have, so they can shut it. It's the box with no cover, no anything. It's got a blank cover, no meter, no anything.
Right.
I've told this story, I think. Anyway, the motherfuckers argued with me for an hour. They finally came out and they fixed. They're like, yeah, the metering box where we could shut you down if we needed to increase the rest of the grid was bad. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They couldn't even tell me that. So I took cold showers for a fucking week straight because of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's
So fuck you, DTE.
That's what one of my wife's
Second fuck you with a fucking podcast.
That's one of my wife's gripes about the electric cars is like if they decide they need the electricity, they can just shut down the fleet. You know, they can turn
Oh,
the
yeah.
Teslas
Well,
off if they want to.
There's so many electric cars in California now. They're asking people to only charge
Yeah.
certain times a day for so long.
Yep.
And it will absolutely crash our grid.
Yeah, they
Oh,
wanted
they
to-
will be able to restrict. So what are you going to do if you count on that to get to your employment and say you fucked up and you didn't plug it in when you needed to and you don't have a charge and you're like, sorry, I can't make it into work today. I have no means to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle wanted to convert their entire bus fleet to electric, and the city told them there's no way in hell the grid could support that.
Oh, yeah, that one too. They already got enough electric from the overheads going through too, not just batteries.
Trolleys, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was in alternative fuels for years, and one of the things that people don't realize, you know, you go up north here in Michigan and you see all those things burning off at the oil wells.
Yeah.
It's propane.
Yep.
And they're just burning it off because it's a waste fuel. And
Yeah.
in Canada right now, Canada passed a thing where they're not allowing them to burn off propane. So literally, I have a couple of friends from being in the industry for so long that they would send trucks up through Sault Ste. Marie into Canada where they're pumping out all this oil and where they used to burn this stuff off. And now he picks it up, 33,000 gallons at a time. They pay him 11 cents a gallon to take it. Then he brings it back here and
So that pays for the diesel fuel in the truck.
Pays for all the diesel fuel to go there and pick it up, bring it back, and then he sells it at a profit.
Yeah. That's weird. I didn't realize. I've seen the things burning, but I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was a.
Yeah.
So when you pump the crude out, it gets compressed. Well, what happens with propane is like the first thing that comes off. It's a waste fuel, and so one of the things that my company did was we had a system that let you run on gasoline or propane, and we could generally get propane for under $1 a gallon, and we would get close to the same mileage within a couple tenths of a mile of what we would get on gasoline with the system.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic because propane's 106 octane, and it was great. But we're dinking around with, so here we could just use a waste fuel in our current internal combustion engines that has almost no emissions to it.
Yeah.
Or we can fuck around with gasoline engines, or I'm sorry, electric motors and batteries and all that shit.
I've seen a few over the years, trucks that were converted to run on both, and it's not hard to do. They basically need a different carburetor in it, is really it all.
Well, our system was all fuel injected, and you could literally press a button on the dash.
Oh, nice.
And switch between propane and natural gas.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, propane. You could use natural
gasoline.
gas too, but natural gas had to be highly pressurized. Propane, you could fill a 60-gallon tank in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay $60. Now I pay $60 to fill up my 15-gallon gasoline tank.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Biden telling us he was going to take away our barbecues because he didn't want people burning propane off them anymore?
Well, and that's what kills me is propane is almost zero emissions when it burns.
Right.
It burns at like 98% completion. So it's such a small amount of anything that goes into the air when burning. It's why you can burn it in your house.
Yeah.
But sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to take away your barbecues because they're dirty." That's just bullshit.
As Hank Hill would say, taste the meat, not the heat.
Propane.
Propane and propane accessories.
So yeah, that's my
we've
rant.
ranted on a lot of great things here tonight.
We have, and some not so great things.
Yeah, and some terrible things.
But they were all good rants.
They were all good rants. It's probably time to get out of here, though. You think or no?
Yeah, it probably is.
We're at an hour 15.
Yeah, let's call it.
Hopefully some politicians were listening.
Let's hope.
Even if they're listeners, they don't listen.
Or some, as Bob would say, aspiring politicians.
Yes.
Aspiring.
Yes. What was the other thing you put in the group chat the other day that somebody else says?
Compromise.
Yes.
Somebody says compromise. I wanted to go on a rant. Football season started on Thursday about how my feelings are hurt about Thumb Tailgater Sports, but I'm going to do the game on Thursday night and we'll see.
Well, TTS hasn't really hurt your feelings, has it?
No, not really, I guess.
I mean, up at the very top of TTS,
Right.
yeah. Which is why I just can't touch it with a 10-foot pole anymore.
Just having to rake so many egos. Do I have an ego myself at all? I don't think so. But
No, you're just kind of a petty dick.
So, do you actually broadcast the game, then like the radio version of it, or I've seen you put stuff on there?
So we stream it. We stream it via internet. We give a link and then we stream it, and then you can listen to the replay. But we run it just like a radio station. We pretty much do. We run commercials. We produce it all. We do it all that. So I do it all. I sit there and I run the show. I produce it. I call it. I do it all. Log on and do all that. Yeah.
Is it you and JTK that?
Yep. JTK and I. Yep. So cool. It's all right. Been doing it. This is my 9th season. So
That's how many I had before I...
might be over before it starts. I'm gonna do Thursday and we'll see where we're at. I'll be there. I'll be in Sandusky. So.
Oh, very nice. I will not be in the booth on this game.
Okay.
So someone else also signed up to do some announcing. So I'm only doing a couple, which I'm good with.
Okay. I won't look for you then.
Well, I nothing saying I might not come.
You should come visit.
Just be up there.
All right, let's get out of this episode.
I could compromise my...
You could compromise what you believe in.
Yes.
I like it.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, he's Adam Pilkins. I'm Phil Nickel. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the P&A Podcast Express. Bandit, thanks for joining us. Love you, buddy. I'm so happy you're here. So happy you got to see a little slice of life here in this side of the country, I guess.
Sure, I'll be back.
Appreciate that. Anyway, Cookie, thanks for being here earlier tonight. He wasn't with us on this episode. Thanks for our callers, Karen, and it was Karen, right?
Yeah.
All right. From the rest of us here at the P&A Podcast Express, make good choices.